Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello. Hello. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Well, just some 3 minutes to 5. I felt we should, I can see one participant. Hello. Hello. Okay, that's just only me. Okay, Shunamite Uzoma, you're welcome. Good evening, Shunamite.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, we just about 2 minutes to 5, and I've been here to test my gadgets.
Okay,
How has been your week?
It's been great, thank you, sir.
Okay, so
And you, sir?
let's just wait for 1 minute. We start our interaction. Yes, another person just joined you. We hope that others will join us. Well, I believe we can start. Our topic for this week is functions of editing. Under the functions of editing, want to look at what we've tagged functions of editing a film. We'll look at the purposes of editing a film, general principles in editing film. We'll also look at basic rules in editing film, and of course, effects of editing a film. So let's start with the functions of editing a film. Can you see the screen I'm sharing, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So editing performs the following functions in documentary films. One, it facilitates the removal of film footage that can destroy society, such as things that could incite crises, racial discrimination, maybe derogatory gender scenes, offensive or lurid scenes that may debase morality, pornography and all that. So if you are editing, it helps to take care of this kind of unnecessary things or things that could destroy the society. Two, editing trims the footage to fit into a specific duration as dictated by the medium of presentation, be it television or film, theater, or cinema. For example, you want it to be 30 minutes, you want it to be 60 minutes. When editing comes to bear on it, you can easily trim your footage to fit into that specific duration of 30 minutes or 60 minutes, as the case may be. The third we've isolated here is that editing combines shots in a spectacular way to achieve an understanding of the film. With participants now, see application. Okay, good. With editing, the editor, the director, the filmmaker can put their eyes together in the studio and put the shots together that will provide an entertaining picturization that could help the audience to understand the film. The fourth we've isolated here is that editing enables a film to be constructed from various sources and camera takes. For example, you are doing a Benin film, for example. You can decide to shoot some scenes in Germany and shoot some scenes in Holland, shoot some scenes in America, and of course, shoot some scenes in the ancient city of Benin. But when you get to the studio, you are able to piece these platforms together and camera takes and make sense out of them. Of course, the fifth one is that it eliminates waste and overshoots and makes the creative composition to remain within the provision of the storyline. There might be some unnecessary things or things that could waste your time. But because of editing, you want to match a true editing. You can match whatever takes or whatever shoots that you have made in sync. You sync it with the storyline, and of course, it will give you lucid and comprehensive picturization. The sixth that we have identified as the functions of editing a film is that editing serves as a structural transformer, which provides the salient aspect of a work in clear and focused way within a specified length of time, adjusted to suit viewership or interest. All your takes, all your shooting, wherever you may have shot, whether long shots, close-up shots, they could be very unwieldy. They could be very overwhelming. But because of editing, you are able to structure your work to provide a cohesive entertainment product for the audience. Is that understood? Is that understood, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move on to the purposes of film. The purposes of film. We've established that the film could editing a film could function. Has a number of functions, and we've established some of them. I haven't established that editing facilitates the removal of the unwanted film footages and enables the film to be constructed from various sources and various camera takes. Let's consider the purposes of editing the film. Editing is basically done to fit film images or shots together. That is essentially what editing is all about. One can create beautiful image, but if there is no plan to their organization and employment, the outcome will generally be flat and uninvolving. So it is this editing that gives it that aesthetic, that gets us involved, that gets us, fascinated about the film, and particularly documentary film. The second point I want us to note under the purposes of editing a film is that it is carried out to correct any observed mistake in previous takes prior to the final production, and to organize the whole shots in a meaningful order that will convey the message of the film. We've made this point earlier that sometimes it could be very overwhelming, the number of takes that a filmmaker may have. But when he or she takes all these takes or shoots into the editing studio or the editing suite, the editor, the filmmaker, or you know, as the case may be, can look at the mistakes they may have made and correct them through the necessary cuttings. And in cutting the unnecessary parts, they are able to cohesively present the message of a film. So basically, we've identified the purposes of editing a film. So I want us to move to the next, which is the general principles in editing a film. Are you following, please? Hello?
Yes, I will follow you, sir.
Okay. General principles in editing film. The general editing principles refer to a number of factors that affect shooting and editing. When we talk about filmmaking, we're talking about shooting and editing basically. They are very important as they influence the decisions the editor makes while editing a film. These principles are: 1, transitions; 2, economy and pace. What is transitions? The term is used to describe shots that bridge one setting to another, or or that mark the passage of time. You say they are transitioning, for example. The term covers a wide range of approaches, but often transitional shots have the added burden of being establishing shots. The common approach is to show a setting, establishing both the place and, by extension, the time of the day. Well, one of the general principles in editing film is that it aids transition. Through the editing, we are able to bridge different settings regardless of time and place, regardless of time and space. And at the end of the day, it gives us a whole form. Then, of course, we have the economy and pace. These terms refer to employing each of the individual shots for the shortest time possible. That is, their economy, while still allowing them to achieve their purpose. This is because each individual film, scene, and shots demands its own word, pace. Economy and pace is attained through control of the physical length of shots, though many other elements affect the sense of the film's internal reading. Usually it is a question each individual piece of film should be on screen. The point we are trying to make is that you need to be conscious that the motion picture medium is all about picture. It's not all about talking. In the earlier days of Nollywood, it was a bit talky because they were not able to manage this principle of economy and pace. It is very important that we are conscious that the individual shots are allowed for the shortest time possible in order to get the maximum pictorial effect. I hope you understand that. So having established, having noted the general principles in editing a film, I want us to look at the basic rules in editing a film. The basic rules in editing a film. Are you with me, please? Hello? Okay.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, the basic rules in editing what? A film. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The basic rules in editing what? A film. Some films are cut such so that their editing is as seamless as possible. Basically, we know editing is all about cutting. This is what is known as invisible editing. In this approach, any cut is abrupt. Any cut that is abrupt, that is sudden or calls attention to itself is considered a bad cut. The rules that guide editing of films have their genesis in the conventional method. The rules apply not only to editing, but also to how the shooting of a scene is approached. They are as follows. 1, there must be a reason for a cut. This one is a universal principle. You don't just go into the editing studio and start cutting. There must be a reason for a cut. And we've established the functions of editing. Is it that you want to avoid wastage? Is it that the time you have allotted, you have exceeded it? Is it that there are things that are offensive to other ethnicities around you or other races around you, as the case may be? So there must be a reason for a cut. 2, we talked about the 30-degree rule. The 30-degree rule says that if you want to cut a closer shot of a subject, the second shot should vary by at least 30 degrees from an axis drawn from the original camera position to the subject. The point being made here is that you should not move the camera towards the subject in a straight line. So you must be conscious of this in order to achieve that aesthetic, okay? The third point we've outlined here is emphasis. One of the basic rules in editing a film is what? Emphasis. Cutting on a subject or an action exaggerates the significance of that subject. The implicit message is that this subject is important enough to warrant more than a single word perspective. If there is a shoot of an object on a table, for instance, a knife, followed by a cut to a close-up of that knife or of the knife, the implication is that the knife is an important element because you have given it consummate attention. The fourth point to note under the basic rules in editing a film is visual interest. Now, in the whole film, there must be shots that are not visually interesting. I mean, this is true. Sometimes you may shoot a scene, or and it may not capture what you really want. If you film a dance rehearsal, for example, there will be parts in which the dancer is turned from the camera or is framed poorly, or parts in which the action is just not engaging. It now behoves on you to select the segments in which what was in front of the camera interrelates with the film frame in a visually exciting way. You don't want to take shots that will bore out your audience. And of course, the fifth, which is the last but not the least here, is variety. Your shots must employ a variety of approaches. It can vary between close-ups, long shots, low angle, and high level shots. Images with different balances of compositional interest are likely to be enthralling, are likely to be moving to the extent that the audience will fall in love with them. I haven't done that. I want us to move on to the effects in film editing. Effects. We've hinted on this earlier when we're looking at, I think that was last week, looking at, what was it now? Please move this window away from, sorry. Okay. Okay, can you see effects in film editing, please?
Yes.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
We can see it, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah, thank you. So, you can see it clearly?
Very clearly, sir.
Yes,
Good.
very.
Effects in film editing. There are some actions that are taken with the aid of camera or computer optical printer, as the case may be, that aim at achieving some kind of effects in film. These effects are enumerated as follows. 1, fade out, fade in. Fade out is simply an effect in which the scene is gradually taken out or the picture fades to black. It is usually followed by a fade in, during which a new scene gradually becomes bright enough to be seen clearly. Fade out and fade ins are used as transitional devices, either to get from one location to another or to signify, the passage of time. So you could have the fade out and fade in, but basically it has to do with the kind of blackout. You want to leave from one time frame or one location, as the case may be, to another. Hello? Are we together?
Yes.
Are we together? So the fade out, fade in basically has to do with complete blackout and a coming on of light gradually. Now, the second effect could be, dissolve. This is a technique in which one shot is faded out while the next fade in on top of it. You know, when we're talking about fade out, fading, we talked about a blackout and a gradual coming on, but this time it is not exactly a blackout. He said this is a technique in which one shot is faded out while the next fade in on top of it. In this process, the screen is not completely dark or blacked out as one scene replaces another. This kind of effect is called what? The dissolve. In the studio situation, we can experiment this. The next, he said, okay, let's go further on that. The dissolve is used to signify change of time or place. Lumide is just coming. Okay, it's used to signify the change of time or place, just as fade out. Dissolve is not used frequently because it is mainly used to soften an otherwise terrible or shot. So why fade out, fading is often used, dissolve is not often used, because it is occasionally used to soften an otherwise terrible word shots professionally. The third effect we want to look at here is superimposition. Superimposition, as the name suggests, this is composed of one shot overlaid on another. It can be achieved in the camera while shooting, or more common during editing and final printing process. So whereby a shot is overlaid on another is superimposed on the other. It can be done while on set or while shooting, or it can be done in the editing studio. The fourth identified one here, effect here, is optical effects. These refer to all graphic effects created in the lab. Optical effects include split screens, keyholes, freeze frame, spins, wipes, and so on and so forth. All those effects you normally see, they are all optical effects. The last item we'll be considering today is distinguishing optical soundtrack from magnetic sound. There is a difference between optical soundtrack and magnetic soundtrack. While the optical soundtrack is produced photographically and used on all standard prints, the magnetic soundtrack uses a specifically produced film stock with a sound strip running along one edge of the film. Effects running along one edge of the film. So I want to thank you for listening. If you have question, query, comments, please. Yes. Question, query, comments, please. Hello. We are just about 8 participants. Well, it's not far from what we've been experiencing. We pray that everything goes well. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Shinamai.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Question, query, comments, observation, please.
Sir, okay, I have an observation, please. Can I speak?
Yes, please.
I noticed that the screen, it wasn't very good for us to see the writings on the screen. Maybe we can have a solution to that.
You please come back.
Voice.
Come back. Yes. Yes. Hello.
Should I tell, sir?
I said repeat the question, please, or the observation.
I observed that the screen, the writings on the screen are not legible. We weren't seeing them very well. So we're just
okay. Can you see?
I want to see the writing.
But I asked you, can you see? You said yes. Can you see this one now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, we can see this one.
Okay. What about? Okay. Can you? Because I tried to break the colors. Can you see this?
It's not that very legible.
Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir. This is
okay.
too small.
It's too small.
Okay, it's okay now.
Okay, maybe it's network, but maybe what I will do in the next class, we'll enlarge it, because that's why I kept asking you whether you can see the screen I was sharing. Well,
okay, sir.
That's that for now. Any other question, query, observation, please? Excuse me. Yes. Yes. I'm all ears, please. Olumide. Hello.
Yes, sir.
You came on late.
Yes, the link that you provided I was unable to log in at that time. So it's one of our courses that allow me to do the other method of logging in.
What about your project?
Yes, sir. We are working on it, sir.
What about Ifeoma? Have you heard from her? She's not in today's class.
Yeah, I tried to chat her, but she has not been replying my message.
Is it that we get another person, but we don't want? Who are the persons in Ifeoma's group?
You assigned me to her group last Saturday.
Okay, have you got in touch with her?
I chatted her up, but she just said, okay, no problem. That was the last.
Actually,
So it's not there's no problem to start working, because in the 8th week we're doing some kind of revision and we'll be experimenting with whatever we produce. So is that Shunamite?
Yes, sir.
So you want to please discuss with her, let us know. Do you know other members of your group?
No, she's just the only one. It was even one of the classmates.
No, I think Olumide can provide us. I don't think she's the only one. We divided the group into equal numbers the day we did. So because this course, documentary film production, however small, that's why I told you, just a 1-minute documentary on any subject of your choice, because it's a critical component of this course. So what I would suggest is that you get in touch with, is she on your WhatsApp, your class WhatsApp group, or your class Telegram group? Hello?
She's in Telegram group.
Okay, so her up if she's not forthcoming, so that how many people are in your group, Olumide?
I have like 7, up to 7.
How could you have up to 7? What are other group members?
I want to check, sir. Let me check.
Check. So we just because Shunamite is saying she's the only one that is in Ifeoma's group. That just makes them,
including me. We are 7, sir. We are 7, including me. We are 7.
No, we have to take some 2 people to the other side, please. So let's decide on that.
It's not like for Ennis to come online so that we can know maybe he has people on our own side as well. Because you are very aligned people, okay, so some people to go to Eddie's side and solve it to my own side on that day.
Yes. So please, you chat her up, you take a decision on that, because our work should be due in a week or 2 weeks from now. Hello?
Okay, sir.
A week or 2 weeks from now, after the looking at the function of the printing, we'll be doing revision and we'll be wrapping up. You understand? Just have about 2 weeks. Please.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So, any other questions from please join class?
Students, I have a question.
Okay, please do ask.
So if Ifeoma is not forthcoming, am I allowed to join another?
That's no, you just have 2 groups now. Hello?
I can hear you, sir.
I said we just have only 2 groups.
Okay.
So you remain there. You now had other people to you. That's what I just told Olumide now. So you check with Ifeoma. Olumide will check with Ifeoma. They will decide whether to take 2 persons, because we've seen that we've not been more than 13 or 14 in this class. And we can't go begging other persons. We just go doing our own thing. And who knows, one of the greatest documentarists in Nigeria may just be coming from your class, because ideas rule the world. You understand? But what we're doing now is just a small project, a 1-minute documentary on any subject of your choice, exploring what we'll be doing in the last 5-6 weeks. Are you with me, please? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will see.
Okay. So let other people apart from Shunamat or Olumide talk now.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon. I mean, good evening, sir. So sorry, sir. I'm just joining the group for the first time today. I'll be trying to get the link. So someone just gave me the link. This is my first lecture. Although I used to download the class lecture after the lecture, but I'm just joining for the first time.
Thank God for that. Okay, great.
I'm from Ondo State.
Okay, please, what's your name?
Study Center. Tokode Olubimpe.
Okay, so Olubimpe, please, can you join Ifeoma Shunammite group now so that they will educate you on what is expected of you?
Maybe they can just add me on their group chat. I don't have any link to join them.
No,
maybe
don't worry. Olumide will do that. Olumide, please, madam, can you give your phone number, please?
081.
No, don't worry to drop your number. I will drop the link for the Telegram group.
Okay, great. Okay. So, madam, what you do now is that you join Ifeoma Shunammite group for the practical project. Are you with me, madam?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, thank you. So then, thank God you've been downloading the stuff. And if you have any question, if you can ask today, subsequently, when we meet next week, we're looking at our last topic next week. Next 2 weeks, we'll be doing our revision, and we believe that this thing will go smoothly for all of us.
Amen.
Okay. Yes, any other question, query, comment, please? So, Lumide, how far have you gone with your own project?
Yeah, we are on script writing now, sir.
Okay, great. So you have decided on the story and the idea. Hello.
Yes.
So you have decided.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Very best on the project. Shunammite, please relate with Ifeoma. If she's not forthcoming, you can take persons, like 2 persons from Olumide's group to join you, to somehow maybe having balance. They are 7 now. If we take 2 out of it, there will be 5 to join you, and the participant that just came on, you will be 4. And if Ifeoma is willing, you will be 5. Can you get that? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
sir,
don't have any other questions?
You said we're going to take from the other group.
From Olumide's group. Yes.
How do we're going to take? You can't tell that you come from.
Okay, Olumide, please.
Yes, sir.
The last two people to join you, tell them to join the other group. The last 2.
Those are I think the last 2. It's only one person that joined me last week.
That person.
I have 6 from inception.
What is his name or her name?
Let me check, sir. Let me check.
Okay, you check that person. You tell that person to join. Hello.
Yes, sir.
You tell that person to join the other. You become 6. Hello.
Sir.
Hello. You become 6.
Yes, sir.
In number. Now, do you have any question, queries?
No, sir. No, sir. From that.
Okay.
From this end, no, sir.
So the new participant, the woman from Ondo. Any question, queries, comment?
Nothing, sir. Except I'm expecting the link for the
I've
the
dropped it to.
Telegram?
I've dropped it.
I
I've
can't
dropped it on
find
the
it.
chat.
We will,
I've dropped it on the chat.
by the grace of God,
Chat now.
great, great. Beyond that, immediately after this presentation, we'll put, as usual, the Zoom video and, of course, the YouTube link so that you double check. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, please let's have it in mind that those with background noise, you may want to mute yourself, please. Okay. Let's have it in mind that in 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe rounding up our online classes, and I'm sure the school managers will, let us to know where we'll go from there. And I hope it's been a wonderful experience, something that we learn. It has been a learning process for me too. So I wish you the very best. Have a great week or great weekend. Bye.
All right, bye, sir.